If you would, I'd like to call this meeting to order. If you would all stand for the pledge of the flag. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If we could have a roll call, please.
Commissioner Henry.
Here.
Commissioner Brand.
Here.
Ms. Green.
Here.
Ms. Batters.
Here.
Mr. Keesler.
Here.
All members are present.
Thank you. Looks like we need to do a reorganization and election of a president.
Correct.
I'll make a
So call
motion.
for nominations for president.
Correct.
I'll make a motion, Mr. Brand, take the presidency.
I appreciate the nomination. I'm not 100% sure that I want to be the president of the Delaware County Redevelopment Commission. I've taken on a number of other boards. I'm honored to be on the board and glad to participate, but I'm not sure I can take it on. If there are no other nominations, I would do it.
Nominate Ms. Green, President.
Do you accept the nomination?
Yes.
Any other nominations? There being none, do I hear a motion to close the nominations?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Then because there are no other nominations, Ms. Green is elected to be president of the Redevelopment Commission. Now, the vice president by statute, which changed last year, has to be a member of the board that's appointed by the Board of Commissioners, since Ms. Green's appointed by the county council. So that is one of you three has to be the vice president by statute.
I don't know if she'll do it, but I'll nominate Michelle.
I'd like to nominate Michelle Batters.
I'll go with
Do we have one more nomination? That way you have a majority.
I'll nominate Shannon.
Okay, hang on.
I decline the nomination.
Okay. All right, any other nominations? I think Rob made the motion to nominate Michelle.
My fingers don't type that fast, guys.
All right. There a motion to close the nominations?
Motion.
There a second?
Second.
All right. There's a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Who motion to close?
Rob motioned to close, Stephen seconded.
Okay,
All right. Because there are no other nominations, Michelle is the vice president. So, Ms. Green, the meeting is yours.
All right, we need to approve the minutes from the December 5th, 2024 meeting.
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Usually we do, for the nominations, you can do all in favor, but generally a roll call for most other votes, okay? I'm sorry, I got you confused at the beginning because you can do nominations by, since we're only one nomination, okay?
Yeah.
But on these kind of issues, you'll need to do a roll call vote, so. I
Just
can
going
call-
based off of last year, we rarely did roll call votes last year.
I can read the roll, all right?
Thank you.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Ms. Batters,
Yes.
Mr. Keesling,
Yes.
Ms. Green.
Yes.
5-0. Yes, okay.
Next, we have 2025 service engagement agreements, previous legal with Brooke and Struble. That was in the packet that we received last night.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Call roll, please.
All right, sure. Mr. Keesling,
Yes.
Ms. Batters,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Ms. Green.
Yes. And then also accounting with Baker Tilly.
So question on that, this puts Baker Tilly for everything financial that we're gonna do for the next year.
As-
bonds, tips, everything that they've been handling previously.
Yes. It's in their engagement letter, I think was included part of your package.
Any other questions?
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Roll please.
Sure. Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Ms. Batters,
Yes.
Mr. Keesling,
Yes.
Ms. Green.
Yes.
Speaking of the Baker Tilly, they would like to, they do an annual TIP presentation with their famous slideshow and their book, and they would like, Matt Ackley told me they'll be ready either February or March, depending on the board's request. So, and they have to do that by statute, and they've got to send notices out to the overlying taxing districts by June 15th, so. We can leave that for later, but I just want to let the board know that they want to come make their presentation, which would be, usually takes about half an hour or so.
I think March would be appropriate.
Okay, March, all right, I'll tell them.
Give everyone time to get it put together.
Yep, okay.
2025 bids for mowing DCRC owned properties. Last year, J. Crew was the low bid.
Do we have any other bids?
It has not been put up.
It hasn't been sent out for bid.
So we're gonna put it out for bid.
From what we could find, nothing was ever sent out on this, so it needs done still.
What was that? I'm sorry.
From what we could find, no bids were sought on this, so it needs done.
So this is one we, I'm asking, but also I'll say in a motion form, we can make a motion for, our council to advertise for public bid
Yes,
with a list of the properties and the scope of the work, which I believe would be, I can't remember, if they're mowed weekly or bi-weekly, but if there was a schedule we had last year.
right. There's an RFP that has been put together. I think we can find that and send that out with the schedule for the property, the list of the properties.
So that would be something we would then entertain in February to advertise.
Yeah, yes.
Perfect.
I'll second Mr. Keesling.
Thank you, Commissioner.
No.
The motion was to have council send out the request for proposals and post it on the county's website, I presume, to get proposals for mowing.
I'll roll on that, please.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Ms. Batters,
Yes.
Mr. Keesling,
Yes.
Ms. Green.
Yes.
Alright.
Redevelopment Association of Indiana dues.
What do we get out of this? Did anybody attend anything last year?
I believe that there's a listserv, and I believe Brad did attend. It's part of the Association of Indian Municipalities, if I'm right, AIM, isn't it? Yes, I think it is.
No, it's
No?
RAI.
Well, I know, but it's part of
Oh.
the AIM, Association of Indian Municipalities.
If I'm reading this correctly, these dues actually go July through June. Is that right?
I didn't hear.
July through June. Is that when the,
Because the email that's attached from July of 24 did list the events that we could have attended, and to the best of my knowledge, at least I was not informed of any of those events, and it looks like it's a July through June.
So the folks that were on the board last year probably still have memberships through June.
this is the
Sorry.
first we've seen it, so
We just got it yesterday, late afternoon, so.
Everybody's appreciate it.
These are the 3 pages.
yeah.
So if we did approve this, we would only be approving it through June for the members listed on the,
For new members.
right, for the new members.
Let's table it until next week.
Yeah, you can table it. I think that'd probably be appropriate.
I make a motion we table it until
A second.
next week.
And I'll be more prepared with all of the details.
That's fine. I could totally be wrong, but I feel like I read that when I was going through that last night. Thank you.
Who's second?
Sharon made the motion, Stephen seconded.
Call roll, please.
Sure. Mr. Keesling,
Yes.
Ms. Batters,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Ms. Green.
Yes. Bonding for members, USI Insurance, previous provider.
Pursuant to the statute, all members of the redevelopment commission have to be bonded. There's a statute on it. And so USI Insurance has done it in the past. We were scrambling yesterday to find what the cost is and get the applications.
Bill reached out to the agent because he used the same company, but I just asked, he did not hear back from them yet, so we're trying to get that information for you. We just haven't been able to obtain printed copies.
It was $450, I believe, last year, but I was trying to find out the quote. I couldn't find it in the email, so the agent hasn't gotten, it's the same one we use for ECI.
What we'll do is we'll gather the information from the agent, get the application, send it to all the board members to fill out. And then submit it to the agent to get the cost for the next meeting.
Okay, perfect, yeah. Sooner the better. I would like for all the members to be insulated.
Sure.
Does that need action before the next meeting?
You'll approve the claim at the next meeting.
Okay.
Okay. We'll try and get them bound as soon as we get the information from the agent. Then you can just approve the claim for the bonds.
Motion to table.
Second.
Follow, please.
Sure. Ms. Batters?
Yes.
Commissioner Henry?
Yes.
Commissioner Brand?
Yes.
Mr. Keesling?
Yes.
Ms. Green?
Yes. Issue bids for Park One's second entrance, American Structure Point.
I don't know that anybody's here from American Structure Point. Well, we did get a report we talked to American Structure Point yesterday. They are resubmitted the permit to NDOT for the access on the 332 since the state highway. They got some comments back from NDOT just before Christmas, so they need to reevaluate and answer those comments. There's some environmental comments that came in right before Christmas as well, and they sent a response this week. Once the permits are received from NDOT and do the environmental, then they can go out to bid. So we're close to a bid, but we're not near a bid just yet. So once they get the permits in place, then it will be ready for a bid. So that's just information. There's no real action needs to be taken. We're just providing information.
And the engineering that we approved earlier in 2024, that's all completed, correct?
For the Park One second entrance?
Yes.
No, it's not all completed because they have to respond to the NDOT for the permits. And they've also got to complete their response. I think they've already got a response on the environmental.
They've completed their responses back at NDOT. They're waiting for a response back
Okay.
from them.
Okay.
Once that's complete, it should be ready to go to bid.
Thank you.
Come back to you at that time.
So what level is it designed to? Is it a 30% design right now?
I did not ask that in the conversation yesterday. I was told the permit was the last, getting the adjustments, the answers to NDOT on the permit, and then it would be good to go to bid.
Thank you. Motion to table.
Second.
The motion was made by
Steve.
Stephen.
Stephen, seconded by me.
Roll call.
Yes, thank you.
Ms. Batters?
Yes.
Mr. Keesling?
Yes.
Commissioner Brand?
Yes.
Commissioner Henry?
Yes.
Ms. Green?
Yes. Delaware County Highway, request for equipment purchase. I think I saw Tommy here.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, what this is a rotary head for our grade off. I talked to Mr. Bookout before. We kind of work together on the industrial center, try to keep stuff clean out there. With that being said, we spent a lot of manpower out there this week, or this year, I'm sorry. And we cleaned, okay, Brad, what road was that we? Mount Pleasant. Mount Pleasant. We cleaned the whole area out of Mount Pleasant all the way to the west. We also cleaned out the whole fence row on Calvin Road leading up into the industrial center, as well as 26th Street. What this rotary head will do on our grade off, it will allow us to have better reach and probably cut the time in half, if not in a third of the time. We got 2 quotes on it. One was really high. The exact same equipment was cheaper in Indy. So it's just something that I can keep the industrial center clean. If we need to go to Park One, it's going to benefit the industrial center. It will benefit us in the long run. We can use it on guardrail, but we can also reach up really high, get high branches that our tractors won't get. It's just a good piece of equipment that we've needed.
So our grade all, most of the time, these rotary heads are hydraulically driven. This is hydraulically driven.
Yes,
And
yes,
the system on our grade all is capable of that. It has additional coolant
Yes.
or whatever's required for it.
yes. We use it for the jackhammer and everything too, Stephen. It's got all the wet kit to go down to that, yes.
Okay. And I've heard that our grade all machine itself might not be 100% reliable, or we're having some issues with reliability on that.
Absolutely, yes. We are having some problems. Green all goes through Southeastern and only Southeastern to service our equipment. We have a lot of issues out of Southeastern equipment. Not only does Delaware County, many counties at Commissioners Conference, I talked with quite a few different counties. Same problem. They kind of have a monopoly on it where they can only work on it. So we are having issues right now. They came out, they found out that something was wrong with the fuel filter. But yeah, we've had a lot of issues with the new grade all. As soon as the warranty ran out, we had to put an engine in it. An engine, the employee that we have in that grade all greases it every day, probably the most valuable employee ever in the history of the Delaware County Highway Department. So I know everything's been done right, but we just really had bad luck doing the Southeastern.
Thank you for that explanation. Is it currently in service?
Yeah, it currently is right now, yes.
So this Kirby Smith machinery, is that what we're looking at approving here today?
Yes, yes.
It would only be, the window guard, the hydraulic kit, and the mounting adapter from Kirby Smith.
So the 9,450 total?
Yes, and then
The
the actual head is from Brandeis,
And that's $32,945.
correct?
We've worked with them before on different heads and stuff, and really, that's a really good place too, so. I went ahead and checked around, see if I could find it cheaper, but I could not find it cheaper.
I like the Brandeis equipment. Where does this money come from?
It would come out of the industrial center TIF because that's where they use it primarily.
I noticed that both of these quotes, the one from Brandeis says that it was only good for 15 days and it's dated in November, and then the one from Kirby, are you sure that these are both still good?
They'll honor it.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Good.
Anyone have any other questions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Call roll please.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Ms. Batters,
Yes.
Mr. Keesling,
Yes.
Ms. Green.
Yes.
Thank you all,
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Shannon made the motion, Stephen seconded.
Coops Lawn Care paving request, Garrett Cooper.
He's not here, okay. The information we have on this is, this has been a request, and I think the majority of the board were familiar with the fact that he made a request, the board didn't approve it for paving at his place there on Callan Road, just south of Hoyt. He had received a $100,000 loan from Prime Trust. He expects the cost for the, some of the paving to be 120 for the base layer and 68,000 for the top coat. And so I presume, but he's not here, what he's asking for. He has to complete the top coat by March, and the property is located in the city of Muncie.
So I recall attending a couple meetings last year where he was asked to go to the Muncie Redevelopment Commission and meet with them. I don't know if that's happened yet or not.
He did, and I think they turned him down.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
They didn't even want to participate.
No, they did not.
According to these emails, he said that he would be here today. To the best of my knowledge, the last time we saw him was August. So it leaves me with quite a bit of hesitancy to move forward on it, considering we haven't seen him in 7 months and he's asking for something to be completed in less than 60 days.
Will the asphalt plants even be open by then?
Nah, I make a motion to table this and, get him a message asking him to attend, February's meeting.
Second.
You get that?
Call roll, please.
Sure. Mr. Keesling,
Yes.
Ms. Batters,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Ms. Green.
Yes.
Do you guys have his contact
Yes.
information?
Yes, we do.
Okay, could you send him a message?
We will.
Asking him to,
I have a quick question, Dana. We received 2 agendas yesterday. Is it the one with the red font on it that we're following?
So the one with the red font that I sent that just to give you, we sent a draft to you guys.
Yeah.
And then after we were able to compile everything with Michelle and Bill yesterday, some of those came off because those people said they weren't ready for a
So
presentation.
everything in red.
The red was just to give you a note that those people had requested. I took them off and then sent you a final agenda with
Thank you.
those omitted. Sorry if that was confusing.
It was for me. Amber was on it, but I was confused.
Next agenda item, northeast corner of Morrison and Bethel, check scheduling and property, closing date, Mark Sturgis.
Yes, spoke with Mark Sturgis. Mark Sturgis said the due diligence period expires at the end of January. They have 1 month to close after that. The buyer, Mr. Singh, has been out of the country for a few weeks. Will be back soon, and he will follow with him then. He requests that we set a closing time sometime in February to close on this property.
Does this have to go to the planning commission? Is there any variance being asked for on this?
I don't believe so. I don't think so, but I don't believe so.
Okay, as you said, Mr. Singh, and there is one item on the agenda this afternoon from Mr. Singh, but it's an access road or something,
I thought it did go to,
planning commission.
yeah. Seems like it did.
I just recall seeing Mr. Singh on the agenda this afternoon.
Is it for the same property?
I don't know.
He's doing multiple projects in Delaware County.
Okay,
I'm
thank you.
almost positive this already did. I think you're right.
It already
I
went.
think it did too.
And did they approve it?
I think we did.
Okay.
So this would be presumably council conducting the closing, scheduling it.
Yes, we will work with Mark
Between now.
Sturgis to set that.
He said it sounded like everything was set to track with the schedule that was in place. This was more of just an update that he hadn't heard anything contrary to make us think that it'd be delayed for any reason.
So assuming it's been the planning commission, everything's, the local word, I
Right.
make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have another question,
Oh,
sorry
sorry.
about that. I just thought of it. Rob, you might be able to help with this since you were here last year. I think in October, November, wasn't there a second site study that we approved for this location?
I can look at my previous packets, but, I mean, Michelle was here, you were here as well, so I'd have to go through my notes.
In October,
Sometime late in the year. Don't take my word for it completely. But I thought there was a second site study that we approved. It was like $6,000.
So phase 2.
phase 2? Phase 2, okay. Oh, yeah, I see that, phase 2.
The phase 2 would be needed for the seller or the buyer to purchase the property.
Correct.
So I would presume it's been completed, but
If they're setting a closing, then I presume the phase 2 came back and there's no problem, they want to set a closing, so.
Okay. Just checking.
Yep, I see that on the
I think
October.
that's the due diligence that he's done at the end of this month.
Well, this is the due diligence period, right?
great question, Amber.
Thanks. All right, motion and second, call roll please.
Sure. Ms. Batters,
Yes.
Mr. Keesling,
Yes.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry.
Yep.
Ms. Green.
Yes. 13, discussion with members for the 600 West, 400 South project. This has American Structure Point listed again.
Right, this is it started out as roundabout, and then it changed into a change of intersection there. County Road 400 South and 600 West. There was some discussion at the last couple meetings, so we put it back on the agenda for the board's consideration. American Structure Point was hired to do the engineering on this. I've looked at their agreement. It's up to the board as to how they want to handle, if they want to move forward with this. It's always your prerogative to move forward or not. The contract does have a convenience feature that allows the board to get out if they want to.
So they've been kicked off. They started work on this.
Yes.
I believe they have, yes.
Angie's shaking her.
Yes, okay, Angie would know.
Gotcha. So the original roundabout, their engineering was $550,000, and this intersection reroute, $625,000. The meetings I was at, the original roundabout was sold as a safety concern, which I think most of those were pretty well squashed during the conversation. And then it turned into the semis are getting hung up in the corners. Is that accurate, Angie?
Yes. Oh, go ahead, Angie.
Yes.
Thank you.
And the reason for the increase in the price for the realignment is because we were prepared to apply for federal funding in the future. So there's a lot more hoops to be prepared for, more permitting, that kind of thing.
I know sometimes these things are confidential, but is there some sort of a future or an imminent economic development opportunity there in that area where this is urgent for any reason? Does anybody know? I see some no's.
I don't believe so.
Okay, you don't believe so?
I don't think there is.
Further south, I think there is 600 West and 67, where SRN now has that concrete plant.
They're doing well. I personally don't understand why we're out there doing this at that intersection. I drive that road at least once a day. It's the shortest distance between my house and my brother's house, lives over on 32. I've never personally seen an accident. I've never seen a truck hung up. And if there's something that has to be done on those in-turn sweeps, maybe, I don't believe we have right of way or access out there. I think you and I looked at that before. Maybe we could acquire it and infill something there in those corners to try to help that. But I'd be interested in the perspective from the rest of the board.
I'm just gonna be honest with you, and I've always said this, but I have faith in our highway people. And we have the equipment. I'm not sure why we don't. I feel like we could do the realignment. I mean, honestly, I feel like we could do the realignment ourselves and not, we don't have to spend all those engineering costs. I don't know. Tommy, you may agree or not, but I'll be honest with you, it's a county road. And we're talking about figuring out where the road needs to be and grade the soil out of it and stone it and pack it and lay asphalt. We have all the equipment to do that.
If I recall, when you and I researched it, the farmer on the south side of 400 owns both sides of 600 there.
Yeah.
So he'd be giving up some property on the east side,
But he would be gaining.
on the other side.
Yeah.
We could,
Which TIF was this coming out of, John, do you recall?
No, I don't recall.
Industrial.
Industrial center. We extended the industrial center all the way to 600 along 67 there.
When this came before us in November, I voted no, and my opinion still stands. I don't see the necessity in spending upwards of $650,000 for engineering for something that's not necessary.
Commissioner Henry raised an interesting point. The highway department likely has the capability, and I think perhaps we pause the work with the American Structure Point and have a educated conversation with Tommy and the highway department on what that looks like. Because if they're to do it, the money's gonna have to come from somewhere for the county to take it on. I don't know how that rises to the other priorities. What else the county highway department has on their plate?
I agree with Commissioner Henry.
I think that this is the thing. I mean, we have some of those roads around the county that are not lined. They are issues. Do they cause fatalities? More than likely, no. So they're not on, wouldn't be considered NDOT's high priority type scale. They work off of fatalities. And it is what it is, but, and these don't, but I think cars do slide off occasionally, and there is a problem. I think it's our responsibility as commissioners and board members to try to alleviate those issues in the county. But again, I have faith in our county highway that we could do this realignment without spending $600,000 on engineering.
Rob, was your comment a motion?
I'll take it as, mine's a motion to stop the engineering, let the county highway department come back with their solution.
With the understanding if there are any sort of work already done by American Construction Point, if there's any cancellation, we'd like a detailed list of their work that's been done to date.
I can second your amendment with the motion I was trying to make.
Chase, did you have something?
I just had a question. Is the engineering part of the 2080 split as well, or is that it isn't? Okay, so that expense has to be covered prior to the construction. Okay.
There is, and I may comment further. There is federal money available for projects like this. I mean, there is, and I think we need to take advantage of that federal money. I think we don't consider that sometimes, and sometimes that hurts us, I think. So we definitely need to take advantage of that federal money at some point with some of these intersections. But I think we do have some high priority intersections, especially down there at Cowan Road and some of those intersections that do need, we need to really take a look at those. They're dangerous intersections.
You talking about Cowan and 400 South?
No, I'm talking about by the industrial park.
Oh,
yeah. You know, we have other, my point is we need to take advantage of that federal money. So, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. Just to kind of go off of what Commissioner Henry said, I completely agree that we need to go after that money, but from the start, I didn't like how this project felt. As Commissioner Brand stated, it was proposed as a safety issue, and then when that was dismantled pretty handily, it was then something different, and I would prefer that it stop. That's my personal opinion. I know we have a motion in a second, but roll, please.
Sure. Commissioner Brand.
Yep.
Commissioner Henry.
Yes.
Ms. Batters.
Yes.
Mr. Keesling.
Yes.
Ms. Green.
Yes. 14 on the agenda, discussion with members for next steps on Cowan Industrial Site infrastructure install. Lockmuller?
We handed out a update we got last night from Lockmuller Group on this particular infrastructure.
So this is to address a drainage or flooding issue pending an economic development effort that's just south of the tracks there, north of the post office. Is that correct?
Yes. That's been a long-standing problem out there.
It's the L-shaped parcel with the access to Elsewhere.
Yes. Yes, that, and I think we have an economic development project that I know we're working on with regard to one company, and then we have some other ground that is available in that same large parcel that was purchased by the Redevelopment Commission.
There's been a large wet spot in that field for a long time, and I believe if you put an economic development situation on that site, you add that impervious surface such as parking lot, roof drains, things like that, it's going to exacerbate that. So
They're actually doing work too. They laid some tile east of there, a couple parcels over. So I don't know if that will help. I'm not sure which way that water runs. I don't know if that will help or
it runs towards
increase.
Cowan Road.
Well, it may increase this
And then
problem.
runs north to Buck Creek.
And it may increase the flow. It may make this problem worse. So I think it's something we do. I agree. We'll take a look at it.
They do have, they're working on according to the note here, they're working on the drainage issue, and they do have to go to the drainage board for, once they get the final, engineering done, so that the drainage board can approve the discharge into a waterway. So that's also part of this, but this is just an update on what's going on.
So we don't need to necessarily table this. This is just more information
Right.
that
Yes.
In a future meeting, once things are through the drainage board, we would probably be looking at it to take action later.
Yes. It's all still part of the engineering work, so.
Everybody seems to think there's a problem out there that needs fixed.
Correct.
Phase 2 Cowan Sidewalk Project, United Engineering.
Yeah, I see it, yeah. We had it, and I think we included, did we include this in the packet of the budget that Jeff Larison had emailed to Brad last month?
The email and the.
Okay, and
Yeah,
it's total, yeah, there you go.
So it looks like there are 4 phases to this project.
Yes.
First phase is complete, maybe with the exception of the trees that were planted. I believe Winter Grease came and asked for some money to plant trees in phase 1. This total project is $1,101,933.85. The first phase was $296,493.92. So what action do we need to take today? This is basically a motion, right? Or are we approving it phase by phase?
Move to phase 2, I think is what,
So phase two is $188,900 or $690.27, correct?
Correct.
that's the budget estimate, right, yes.
And he made it seem like he was kind of just waiting on direction from you guys as to if you were ready to move forward with phase 2. So he really just wanted direction as to how he needed to proceed and what you guys were looking for.
If I remember correctly, in phase 1, there were some cost underages that allowed us to do some improvements near the school drive. And I think they were part of a future phase, but they were identified by the schools as an important item.
There's some land acquisition activities that have to take place for this.
I think that, yeah, that was phase 1.
Estimated total was 170,280.
I can't either.
Jeff, do you know if there's some land issues?
There, Jeff Larison with United Consulting Engineers. There were a few small parcels that might need to be acquired. Most of the sidewalk work is just basically replacing old, torn up sidewalk, broken up sidewalk. It's within the right of way. So the only land acquisition that we had to do to date was the small improvements we made to the entrance to the street that goes back to the high school, or to the school education building, the office there. I can't remember the name of that street. And to help the buses make the turn there, they were running out the grass.
To get back to the bus barn,
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say.
any opposition from the landowners on trying to acquire this?
No, there was not. There's complete cooperation. They were all in favor of, just because it actually corrected the issue of the redding out where those buses made the turn. There were a couple of accidents that had taken place where when they brushed each other. So everything's been really smooth so far. The project seemed to be really popular with the town. And the schools were happy with the end result of the sidewalks that were added up to the elementary school to help the students there. So the next question was whether to move to phase 2 if the RDC wanted to move forward with that. The plans are all complete for all 4 phases. And I could revisit, make sure that there aren't any land acquisition issues, or if there could be for phase 2, if you'd like me to do that.
No, I just want to say that there was a lot of positive feedback from the county community to the commissioners about the phase 1 that was done. So everybody, like you said, was really appreciative towards getting that done out there. Yeah, and it was a good product when it was finished. So we appreciate that.
Well, if there's anything you need for us to do, like I said, we have design work all completed, but we're standing by to answer any questions that come up with the RDC. Happy to do that.
So I agree. I think the town was in favor of it. The school was definitely in favor of it. The only negative thing I heard was people were surprised when 14 trees came down on the north side of that road. So I would ask that if we do move forward, that you offer a pre-construction meeting on site out there for the neighbors, advertise it and walk them through, explain to them. So 14 trees came down in phase 1, 9 trees are gonna come down in phase 2, 18 trees are gonna come down in phase 3, and 2 trees are gonna come down in phase 4. And it wasn't considered to replace those trees in this original estimate, right? That's why the trustee, Mr. Reese, came back and asked the Delaware County Redevelopment Commission to plant trees on the north side, which I agree with. I just want to make that comment that, you know, there are still a bunch of trees to come down for those of you watching at home.
I have something to say. I was actually part of the start of this. My only concern is it's probably gonna be different than everyone else's. The reason we were replacing these sidewalks, number one, they're old, but the biggest reason is the trees, okay? So those tree roots, and when I saw the trees out there, I'm surprised. You know, I was surprised we're planting more trees out there because they're in the same spot with the same roots toward the other. That's the only concern I have. I didn't quite understand that. I mean, I understand they want trees in front of their house, but that's, I don't know if they coexist. You know, in our lifetime, we might not see it, but
It will.
it's gonna be problems, and I was really shocked.
So I was told at the Calhoun Lions Club breakfast that the type of trees we were replanting wouldn't have that root system. They would be more of a root system that went down. So
You're correct
yes,
on that.
we
Okay.
do need to, what type of trees are we planting?
I don't have a list of trees, but I do know that they are that type where they have more of a tap root as opposed to.
As opposed to those big elm or ash and the.
Correct.
And they may be a hybrid poplar or something like that. I don't know, but that was my only concern. I was really shocked when I saw those.
Tom's right. I don't want to plant trees that are going to tear the sidewalks up in 50 more years.
If memory serves, last year did a study on Cowan regarding incorporation so they could qualify for grant funding, federal grants. My understanding, unfortunately, that is not the case, which means for these sidewalks to be completed, it's either through the county general fund or through the TIF. Is that?
That's correct.
That's what I thought.
Where did the phase 1 come from?
And just percentage tip, I believe.
Yes. So really, we'd just be asking for United to advertise bids for phase 2 that would come before. Is that the item suggested in front of us, John? Or a subsequent phase or all 3 phases if we want to?
I defer to Jeff as to, since he's here, so.
I can catch all the questions.
So really, I guess the ask before us is if we want to advertise for bids for subsequent phases, that would then come into here to review, and once the bids are open, then we decide.
Yeah, well, what I would offer or suggest would be that we'd have our engineer revisit the construction costs, just to give you more update and accurate costs, because of inflation, construction costs may have slightly changed since then, but we did build some inflation percentages in there to protect you for that, but we could give you an updated construction cost for phase 2 and any potential associated costs. If there are parcel or 2 that may need to be reacquired, I don't know that there'll be any bidding services. I think that was all under the previous agreement. But we could put an update together for you that would give you updated construction costs and any potential associated costs. That would help you out.
Is the design complete for phase 2?
Yeah, the design is complete for all 4 phases.
I'm just one person. I think that's a great idea because we're not going to construct between now and February. I mean, so if we had more of a first meeting for the year, so if we had the update, then we could. I don't think we just table it, do we, John? We just kind of have it. Sorry.
I would make a motion that we have United revisit the plan, make sure there's no land acquisitions. Establish some kind of plan to notify the homeowners that these trees are going to need to come out.
Thank you.
On both phases 2 and 3.
Okay.
Look at both phases 2 and 3.
I'll second that motion.
Call on, please.
Sure. Ms. Babbage?
Yes.
Mr. Keesler?
Yes.
Commissioner Brand?
Yes.
Commissioner Henry?
Yes.
Ms. Green?
Yes. 15 on the agenda, Daleville Salem water sewer install. nearing completion in conjunction with TIP, ARP Ready, United Engineering.
Jeff, you're up.
We just finished the actual installation of the pipes at the beginning of this week. So all of the underground work is now in place. And we were able to, and the best part of it was we were able to get everything installed before Quick Trip paved over where the line was gonna be running. So we were able to get everything in, we didn't have to go back and cut any pavement or concrete for installation. So it's all installed. We now have to wait about 30 days to test the lines before we can do the testing to ensure that everything's done properly. That's just part of the code. And then once that's done or completed in mid-February, we can let you know how the results of those went. And then once the weather breaks, we can go in and restore any landscaping and dirt work that was disturbed during the installation of the project. But we can't really do that this time of year. That would be as soon as weather permits. So, and then we'll have.
Can you go out there and do that today?
We'll
Need you to do that.
we'll have a final walkthrough and invite whoever needs to come out, or would like to come out and go over that to make sure you guys are satisfied with the end result.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to be there for the walkthrough.
Okay, you got it.
And last on the agenda, Albany Bell Road entrance project, complete in conjunction with TIP.
Yep, I think that Jeff is doing a great job, so.
Thanks, Jeff.
It's all finished. Phase one, it turned into a two-phase project. Original project was gonna be one road all the way up to the fish farm. And then, there wasn't a need to actually do that, and they modified it to incorporate some potential lots that could be used for economic development in Albany. So that was the change in plans. That's all been completed, but there are the land has been acquired and there are partial plans complete to actually run phase two up to the fish farm if and when they ever need that. If their operation ever requires or expands to the point where you need to, you'd prefer to have that line installed, or the road installed, we can finish up those plans for you. They are the county's or RDC's property. The plans are, so you guys have partial plans that if you ever need them to finish.
That was a good project too. It looks very good. So thank you for that.
Just a quick question. So in the package, there was a summary of the cost. Is this total project $3,935,925? So there will be more project to come
If
we extend the.
If we extend the road. That's been going on for over 10 years.
That's a long time.
It's been in the works for over 10 years. The road. So
10 years, 3 owners.
yeah.
It's been a long process.
But we still, in the event that occurs at some point, and we're all still here, we already have land. So we'll be in land acquisition right away.
So we haven't done any work in the dirt out there. We haven't put any sanitary sewers or anything like that.
There are.
Sewer, water.
Sewer and water was under the site, because there is economic development lots there in their small industrial park.
Right, the town of Albany ran sewer, water, and storm for the Dollar Tree that's in that particular, in the south end at 67. That was a joint project that the county did and the Redevelopment Commission did with Albany. And there's still some lots to the north in the Albany Development Park that are available. There's a retention pond also in one of those lots.
Any other questions? Okay, moving on to invoices. Anybody have questions?
Madam President, I'm sorry, I may have been my office made a mistake. We had some invoices from Angie's office for the highway department I don't see on here.
And I had a question about one that was approved last month.
Those were ones though that you said, I thought that were submitted but weren't paid yet, right?
Just one of them.
Oh, okay, so
We got messed up in a hurry, that's why I knew there was 3 other ones, and I'm like, wait a minute, there was more.
Okay, then I got confused. I thought there were 3 invoices given to me yesterday, late afternoon. I reached out to Brad to get confirmation of the claims that were submitted last month. I thought they were submitted, not paid, and I was gonna try to track down what the problem was. So I may have misunderstood that. That's why I had emailed you. So 2 of them were new ones.
Correct.
Then I didn't realize
The
that.
one for 2,220 we approved in the December meeting,
Well, and
but
I have them here.
we can't find it in VIP where it's been paid.
What was that for?
Bridge 51, design services with RQAW,
Bridge 51, which is where?
McGalliard, west of I-69.
Which one did you
my
just say?
mistake too, Danielle,
I'm sorry.
when we were going through that.
These are the 2. This bridge 51
That's
was
the new
10,000. Is this the other new one?
So those two I'd like to get approval if at all
I'm gonna
possible.
bring these up just so, I thought these were ones I needed to look into, so you guys can see.
Is that the one that goes over Killbuck? Is that the, okay.
And then those 2 invoices, one is for, again, Bridge 51, and another one is for Bridge 75, which is on Schaefer Road
This is 51.
by Country Village.
You done with these?
So the one from 51 has a nice description, but this one doesn't have, this one just says see attached invoice, and that's one thing I brought up to the commission.
Yeah, did she not write?
Put
I
descriptions.
think she overlooked that because I asked her to write it on there.
Yeah.
I thought she wrote something in handwriting.
So
Maybe she
whoever
did.
types it in VIP, I wanted to put a description, not just the invoice number. I know the auditor's office wants an invoice number.
Mhm.
I'd like to see some sort of a limited description.
And
just
we have
give you a
already
clue.
begun doing that, so you have more detail. 'Cause I didn't realize you didn't see the invoices themselves.
Nope.
So that
We only
makes
just
sense.
see the
Mhm.
summary of the claims,
Yeah.
and then the descriptions.
So are there any other invoices that have come in that we need to?
There were 3 others actually that were in the packet that I gave you. Those would be the only 2 that she's talking about that are new ones.
So I'm confused then. Are these paid or are they not?
They are not paid. Those are brand new.
We need to add.
You have not
some
seen them.
to it.
Need to add those to the invoices, yes, she'd get them, but for some reason they didn't end up, like I said, we got confused there.
Okay.
She did give them to us the time when we were gathering everything. I
And these are the
apologize.
only 2 that need to be added? Okay.
And then the RAI that's on our claims,
And that was
we
tabled.
tabled that,
tabled
right? So
You wouldn't approve, you would approve the claims absent the RAI ones.
with the addition of these 2 bridge claims that
Right.
we just talked about. I'll make that motion.
Okay. Thank you. Well, Danielle, the one that we're questioning if it's been paid, Brad sent it to Sarah on December 4th, if
Yeah.
that helps your tracking purposes.
Yeah, he sent me that yesterday.
Okay.
I'll roll on that motion in a second, please.
Sure. Mr. Keesling,
Yes.
Ms. Bathurst,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Ms. Green.
Yes.
Just so I'm clear, does that include my 2 new ones I
It
just
does.
gave?
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm gonna take those back
Well,
and I'll
numbers,
scan and send them to you because that was the only copy I had, so I'll
Okay.
type in the numbers and then I'll email you guys a
So I
copy.
shouldn't have drawn all over
So
it.
she works in finance.
Oh, did you?
No.
Oh. Because it's okay, I can white it out.
Take that as a copy.
That was a compliment.
Alright, no bond or bot invoices, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Any comments from the commission?
Yeah, I just, some of you have been here, some of us have not. It was a little hectic getting the meeting put together today. I want to thank John and Danielle for all their work on getting this put together. And we was going to try to push it off to next Thursday, and there's a breakfast at Allstate, I think, next Thursday, so we couldn't do that. But also, Bill and his office, I appreciate you guys working on getting all this information put together for us today. And I just want to say thank you.
Well, thank you. We couldn't have done it without Bill and Michelle. It was
Yeah, I
a lot of
appreciate- I
scrambling.
know, I appreciate all you guys. I just want you to know.
Question I'd have is, and it might be for next month, and probably the commissioners are probably trying to figure out the overall, the redevelopment commission had a long-term setup with Augusta and ECRPD, and Augusta chose not to go in a different way. You know, we were in a groove, now we're not in a groove, but I second Shannon's comment. So I guess we would wait to have staff for this, or I guess a look at the commissioners in terms of the county commissioners probably working on that.
Well, you know,
So
something we need to discuss.
we're in process. We'll try to get it figured out. It may not be by next meeting, but hopefully by March.
I believe in the interim, we should continue just how we prepared for this meeting today. So I would ask you guys to continue in an interim role while we try to figure out a permanent role. The director is currently hired by the commissioners. Most boards I serve on, the director or they serve at the pleasure of the board. So I know the commissioners, we pay that out of edit money?
Yes.
Okay, but does the board have the ability to hire a director and pay it out of TIF money or something else?
They could, yes. But since the director also was doing projects outside the redevelopment commission with the board of commissioners using edit money, that's why the decision was made to have the commissioners hire the director, because it was a hybrid of money from redevelopment commission and edit and other sources.
Thanks for that history. So it was a board decision then to have the commissioners hire.
Right, that was the history behind that.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, we need to.
We need some time. Let's if you guys will continue working together to get everything that we need and to keep us on track. I think hopefully by March we should be able to figure something out.
I'd also like to point out that, you know, some of these folks have been reaching out to multiple entities. And I see Tracy Lutton here today. I believe a few of these folks have reached out to you as well. So will you work with Broken Struble and?
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. You know, there were some projects that Brad and I were collaborating on. For those of you who do not know me, I'm Tracy Lutton. I'm with the Muncie Delaware County Economic Development Alliance. I've been working in economic development in this community for 20 years. We're all working toward the same goal, the same end here. So if there's any support that I can provide to the commission, the commissioners, the law firm, I'm absolutely happy to do that.
So the folks that reach out to you, will you let them know who reached out to you and what that situation is?
I absolutely will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And then are these packets posted online somewhere after we're done with the meeting? They're not currently.
In the past, they haven't been, but
Right.
I mean, they can be.
That's up to the commission, yeah. I mean,
I personally would like to see them. I'd like to hear the opinion of the rest of the board.
I agree.
Is there a reason not to? I know that sometimes it's sensitive economic development stuff, and we don't want to disclose any of that, of course, but if this is all public record, I would like to see it posted online. Do we have a website?
That's what I just asked him. I said,
So,
do
There
you
is
have
a-
access to the
There
website?
is a redevelopment commission
Tab on
tab
that. Mhm.
on the county's main website.
Kyle can probably
Kyle
get
Johnson can help with that.
So I don't disagree with you. I mean, the stuff, it's all public record, right? So it can be posted. I think in the event we cover a sensitive issue, maybe that not be posted maybe till a later date.
I
Until we
agree.
get past the sensitive part of what we're trying to get accomplished with the company or whatnot, but.
Commissioner Henry brings up a good point, so we should be cognizant of what we want to omit from posting publicly.
I guess anything that we would omit would probably be in a meeting that would be called an executive session. And
Anything
which
discussed
we did
or-
not have last year, but would be convened by council. And there's a cost to put things online, but there's a greater cost for council to have to respond to individual FOIAs and APRIs and other requests. So it saves administrative work to just get it up there, is kind of how I look at it.
do you want the board packet with the claims? You just want the minutes? Or, I mean, do you want everything?
Yes.
Whole
Okay,
packet.
okay, the whole packet, okay.
So you could send that to Kyle and Kyle could do that posted.
And then one additional topic, there was discussion about possibly moving this meeting to the county building. Commissioner Henry and I discussed it, and I agree with his point about parking. Sometimes at the county building, the parking's not the best, and maybe keep it here for now, that the nice parking would be the best situation. So I had initially wanted to move into the county building, but
Bill, would that be acceptable with the Innovation Connector?
Yes, that
Ted likes the meetings being held. I mean, this is a hub for the city and the county, and a lot of elected officials go through. With you guys holding your meeting here, it gives the public more access to you than, as you stated, Stephen, with the parking up there, people, if those of us that have to go there quite a bit understand how hard it can be and how far you might have to walk, they kind of like the parking lot that we have here and be able to get in and get out.
Only the other thing to think of, and something about parking triggered this, is this body bought like a Suburban 2 years ago, and our economic development approach at the time was, I'm gonna say concierge level. I don't know what the next approach will be, but it's just something to think about.
Well, and we have control of that Suburban,
Good
so,
deal, yeah.
so it's here and that's something that we'll evaluate when we figure out who the next economic development director will be.
Don't wanna get rid of something you have.
No, absolutely not.
Any other questions from the board? Any comments, questions from the public? Alright, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Roll please.
Sure. Mr. Keesling.
Yes.
Ms. Batter.
Yes.
Commissioner Henry.
Yes.
Commissioner Brand.
Yes.
Ms. Green.
Yes.
Thanks.